Sorry I couldn't post last Sunday, I was doing some damage control for the aftermath of our last video. So this week we're gonna move on to something sweet, like chocolate chip cookies. They're like the golden retriever of desserts, cause everybody loves them and is prominent in upper middle class American families. So we're gonna go around New York City hitting up all the most viral spots for cookies, taste and rate them 1 through 10, and then try to recreate the best one at home. How about that? You're getting 2 of our most viral formats in one video.
I'm gonna give you what you want.
Let's get started. The only thing I hate more than coming to Soho is coming to Soho to film in public. This place is called La Mercerie, a contemporary French eatery with like really cool plates. The interior design and decoration of this place is mind-blowingly beautiful. Being here makes me feel more important than I actually am. Also, look at all these fancy people. So the reason why I'm sitting here pretending I didn't just eat a whole pizza by myself is that they wouldn't let me order the cookies unless I also order like $50 worth of food. You know, even my mom's never told me that. I'm extremely full right now, so I ordered 2 of their lightest appetizers. First one being this lobster salad. The lobster's like right under here. And this is my favorite part because I can just take
a potato chip and eat it.
We're just here for the cookies, so I'm not gonna say anything about the food, but make your own assumptions. I also ordered this steak tartare. Flavorful, rich, and acidic. And at last, it's cookie time. Perfect circular shape, generous sprinkle of salt on top, and it's got a decent thickness to it. And apparently is a little bit on the crumbly side. So let's take a half a piece, give a brief inspection of the cross section. I really don't feel comfortable filming here, so I took one to go. We'll go into more details later, so let's give it a quick taste and rate it 1 through 10. Sweet, salty, very cakey texture, and overall very good. There's something in the middle that feels insanely familiar, but I can't pinpoint what it is. We'll figure it out later when we get home. 9 out of 10. Let's leave here ASAP. Right when I was leaving, I saw that they have a store attached to it. I don't know whether the chicken or the egg came first, but what a genius idea. You can browse all these designer household items, and then you get to see how it's used in a kitchen setting. I think we ate our cookie out of these plates. Looks like what my mom made after a single pottery class. I'm just stepping outside to take a little break. We gotta figure out a way to do these restaurant reviews without maxing out my social awkwardness scale. Let me know if you think of any. Just walked past the cronut place. We should make cronuts soon on this channel. They tried to make me go to Rehab, and I said yes, yes, yes. This is a TikTok viral place called Sweet Rehab, and I didn't know it's actually a champagne bar. Beautifully decorated. So again, they wouldn't let me sit inside unless I order a glass of champagne, and you have to buy at least 2 cookies at once. What is up with these rules? It's 2 p.m. on a Thursday. There's like nobody sitting here. Looking at all these perfectly shaped pastry really makes me want to spend more time here. Look how beautiful the fruits are arranged on top of the... On a second thought, I don't really want to be here anymore. So let's grab our cookies, sit somewhere outside, and we'll review them. I need to forget what I just saw and just enjoy some sugar. Here I have 2 cookies from Sweet Rehab, a beautiful place filled with champagne and sugar for men and friendly insects. This looks just like my mom's cookie. Oh, which is like not a compliment. Looks like they use both dark and milk chocolate, so let's give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. I don't see a lot of salt, but it tastes a lot saltier than the last one. The texture is not crumbly at all. I think La Mercerie may have used cake flour. This one's definitely all-purpose flour. The cookie tastes like it's made with minimal effort. Based on years of experience of eating cookies and me being a fat ass, I reasonably suppose that this recipe is from midnightlovers.
Nestle Toll House?
I also taste a little bit of caramel in it, which is redeeming. Honestly, I think this is one of the worst cookies I've ever tasted. Of course, I'm gonna finish it and enjoy it because it's sugar and chocolate, but it doesn't even compare to La Mercerie. 4 out of 10. good for bugs. Levain is like the Joe's Pizza of cookies. It's not a New York City food tour without it. And you see all these people giving me dirty looks? Do you think I'm being a jackass right now? Let me know in the comments. Check all of these recognitions and awards from establishments that mean nothing to my peasant worldview. People really travel thousands of miles just to taste these cookies. So I read a couple of their published reviews, and it seems like the most notable part of this bakery chain is their consistency. And this is a quote: "Rarely overbaked and dried out, as many competitors tend to be. Don't miss the coconut caramel chocolate chip. It's only around until summertime." Well, seems like we missed out on the coconut caramel. Just judging by the color, it looks like it's perfectly baked. It feels super heavy, and it's actually burning my hand a little bit, which is fantastic. Once I split it open, I'm even more impressed. I think this might be the perfect midpoint of being cooked through and raw. Everybody wants to eat raw cookie dough, but nobody wants to get E. coli and salmonella, and this is the solution. I'm getting a little sick of cookies right now, so I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. Definitely not gonna take another bite, but not because it's bad. I just need a break from sugar. It's crispy on the outside, insanely moist on the inside. I've ordered it a couple times before, but I think this one is the best by far. The dough is gooey, soft, not too sweet, which highlights the flavors of the chocolate very well. I think this is the winner today. I'll give it the same score as La Mercerie. The difference is that La Mercerie have better flavors, but Levain's texture is unbeatable. Also, I want to make this one at home because it requires way less ingredients. Finally, we concluded our tour. Gonna take all these cookies home. We'll go into greater details on the taste and also compare them to the cookie I made. I checked out a bunch of recipes online, and you know, surprise surprise, Joshua Weissman has the best one. This recipe is also extremely easy, so let's make it real quick and we'll compare. Before we start, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about that cake?
You know how I feel about that cake. So you're gonna start off with 1 1/4 cup or 280 grams of unsalted butter. Bring it to a melt. Wait, no. You know what I mean.
Starting with 280 grams of unsalted butter, put it in the microwave, and I know what you mean.
Rough chop 1 pound or 450 grams of dark chocolate.
Measure out a pound of chocolate. Chop it in a way that it gets everywhere.
You want it to look like this, sort of some randomized pieces, some big, some small, some tiny, you know?
Some big, some small, some tiny. It's all okay to me as long as it's dark.
In a medium-sized bowl, combine 1 1/2 cups or 230 grams of cake flour and...
I ran out of cake flour, but no need to worry. As I always said it's called all-purpose flour for a reason.
And 2 cups or 275 grams of all-purpose flour.
And then some more all-purpose flour.
1 1/2 teaspoons or 5 grams of kosher salt.
1 teaspoon of sea salt.
And 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of cornstarch.
2 teaspoons of cornstarch.
And 1/2 teaspoon or 6 grams of baking soda.
And a key bump of baking soda.
Give that some whiskey.
Giving whiskey.
To stand mixer fitted with the whisk attachment.
To my organic stand mixer with the Ligma fork attachment.
Add 1 1/4 cup or 285 grams of brown sugar.
280 grams of brown sugar.
And 1/2 cup or 115 grams of white granulated sugar.
115 grams of organic cane sugar.
Begin whisking that on medium speed and then slowly stream in your butter. Whisk that all together until it looks nice and creamy like this.
Whisk it on medium heat and slowly stream in my butter. And then whisk it together till smoothly combined.
Then to that, 1 egg at a time, you're gonna add 2 eggs.
1 egg at a time, we'll add 2 eggs.
Followed by 3 egg yolks.
Followed by 3 egg yolks.
And once you got a nice, smooth, homogeneous little thing going on here, switch to the pedal attachment.
Once I got a smooth and homogeneous mixture over here, I'm gonna keep the kernel attachment because I'm a big fan of it.
And then mix in your flour mixture. Don't forget to spill a bunch of flour all over the place when you're pouring it into your mixer, because for some reason mixers are built this way in such a way that you always spill flour.
You see, I never have that problem because I don't use a KitchenAid. Our war against the machine is still going on, by the way. If you remember the score posted in the comments, I'll announce in the next video. Also, see, no flour spill.
Nice job, team.
But in all honesty, baking without a stand mixer gets pretty tough. Beating the flour into the batter takes a really long time. I would beat it on the couch, but I'm afraid to make it all sticky and stuff.
Once your dough is nice and smooth, go ahead and fold in 2 cups or 165 grams of rough chopped walnuts.
I would say I'm an enjoyer of nuts, but not walnuts particularly, because the skin sometimes gets stuck in my teeth. And you already know donut is my favorite nut. 2 cups of walnuts is too much, so So I'm gonna replace 1 cup with its best substitute, semi-sweet chocolate chips. I bought that bag of walnuts because I was planning to make a carrot cake for 500,000 subscribers. I guess I completely forgot about it. I really should keep a content schedule or like make a list or something.
Rough chopped walnuts. I'd recommend toasting your walnuts, by the way, and your chopped chocolate.
So our chopped walnuts, I didn't toast them, and Oliver chocolate. We're gonna need a bigger bowl.
And also, maybe don't do this in the machine because it's a little bit rough on your machine, so...
Nothing's ever too rough for the machine weapon that is my arm. I can work all day long. They don't know me, son.
Who's gonna carry the boats in the long?
But I'm just taking a little break because the spatula got tired. Okay, it's much easier to distribute all the chocolate chips evenly if you knead it like a dough. Oh, it is a dough. Or is it a batter?
Number 1 tip with these, if you want them to be tall, you need to chill these. So wrap them up and put them in your refrigerator for at least 45 minutes.
I don't bake cookies that often, but I know that a chilled cookie dough is almost impossible to shape without a scooper. So I'm gonna shape everything into balls first and then chill it. We'll come back to the chilling instructions in a sec.
Found on their website that their cookies typically average around 6 ounces in size, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a 6-ounce cookie ball.
I'm gonna make it a little more than 6 ounces so that the center is a little more moist. I think that's how that works. Also consider yourself lucky because I'm about to demonstrate to you my ball handling skills. Once they're all shaped into even and perfect looking balls, we can chill them.
Up and put them in your refrigerator for at least 45 minutes. The longer you chill them, the taller they'll be.
Man, I wish my mom put me in the refrigerator when I was little. After 13 minutes, this is what we have. It's extremely hot right now. It looks a little darker than Joshua's because I baked it for 2 extra minutes, but I assure you the center's gonna be ooey gooey since it was frozen. The shape is just perfect, looks very close to the original. Let me give you a closer look. It's got a lot of thickness to it, which we desire, and is dripping. What's happening here? It seems like the structural integrity... No need to panic, it's just a tiny piece falling off. We'll just carefully place it onto a plate, letting it cool down a little further to maintain.
What the fuck?
At least we're certain now that the inside is very moist. Now, we're gonna leave this piece alone for 15 more minutes and come back to it later. So here we have it, a slightly overbaked, thick Levain style cookie. I guess some of the chocolate melted into the center, hence this hole right here. But as always, we gotta post it on Instagram to see what you guys all think.
What's poppin'? Brand new whip, just hopped in. I got options, I can pass that like Stockton. Just joshing, I'm spending this holiday locked in. My body got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10. I can put the
Now it's time for the cross-section inspection. Just by looking at it, you can already tell it's crispy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. The chocolate melting off in the center just adds on to the appetizing appearance here. Now I'm gonna turn off this color grading because we keep it real on this channel, everything unedited. So we'll take a quarter piece, just admire the melting chocolate, give it a taste and rate it 1 through 10. Of all the ways my mouth has experienced dark chocolate, never like this before. My tongue is completely dominated by the creaminess. The walnuts in the outer layer gives it that contrasting crunchy texture to balance everything out. However, swallowing does get a little difficult due to the gooiness, but I'm an expert of it, so I took it down easy. So we'll finish this one, let the rest of the cookies chill in the fridge for a couple more hours. Once they solidify to the ideal amount, we'll bake one and compare it with the rest of the cookies we bought. Wow, it is a lot taller the more you chill it. With these 3 cookies we just bought earlier today, we're gonna compare it to the cookie we just baked. Personally, I find it much more attractive than the previous batch. I let it cool for almost 20 minutes, so I have faith in its structural integrity. Each cookie has such a unique style. I call them the 4 horsemen of New York City bakeries. Obviously, the one representing death is this one from my apartment. I'll give you a little more information on each one and come up with the final verdict. Starting with the Mercerie one, now that I'm looking at it without social pressure, I reasonably assume that it's baked in the mold to achieve the thickness and the perfect round shape. Remember I told you I taste something special in it, but I can't tell what it is? We'll find out right now, and the result may shock you. There's a layer of Nutella in the perfect center of the cookie. I can't believe I didn't notice before, but not store-bought Nutella. Definitely homemade hazelnut chocolate paste, or the Italians call it nocciola. My guess is that they froze it into a disc and they just stuffed it into the cookie. This is beautiful stuff. This is what it looks like when we cut it into a quarter. The cross section reminds me of a cookie pizza. I've never seen anybody use the frozen disc of Nutella technique in real life before. It's such an element of surprise and it completely elevates the dish. They definitely used cake flour because it's a little crumbly. But besides that, this is the perfect cookie, guys. I'm gonna have to give it a 9.8, overriding the previous score. This is the cross section of the cookie from Sweet Rehab. It's looks like your average household cookie, nothing special about it. Taste-wise, it's even worse than before now that it's gone a little bit cold. It tastes very low effort, all-purpose flour all the way. I hate when people just use all-purpose flour when they can use a mixture of flours. I'm just a hypocrite like that. No browning of the butter, no diversity in chocolate chips. 3 out of 10. Just like my mom's cookies. Here we have the double chocolate chip from Levain. I'm kind of surprised at how all the chocolate chips is like perfectly placed, evenly distributed throughout the dough. The inside looks perfectly moist and the outside just a little bit golden. They really mastered this craft over there. However, taste-wise is way less satisfying than before when it was burning hot. Instead of the runny, gooey inside, now it's just kind of pasty and has a hint of raw flour taste. It's still an above average cookie though, 8.8. I'm gesturing the video to try to explain how Levain's like the ideal classic cookie, but La Mercerie's got the most exciting and interesting combination of flavor. At last, we take a look at my freshly baked cookie. Well, if picture speaks louder than 1,000 words, this clip right here speaks louder than like 1,000,000 words. We chilled in the fridge for 3 hours. It's got a lot of height, a lot of thickness and gooiness. With the chocolate melting off so perfectly, this might put you on the map for the best mom ever title. If you're having trouble connecting with your family, you can just watch the middle part of this video. Let's taste it, and I have to give you a warning. I'm about to show a lot of emotion, so if that makes you uncomfortable, skip 10 seconds. Whoa. It's a little bit unfair since mine is freshly baked and the other ones are cold, but the contrast of texture of the crispiness on the outside and the gooiness on the inside is the most apparent. The recipe from Joshua is definitely the least sweet, which is my personal preference, but flavor-wise is not as good as Levain and La Mercerie. So the overall ranking, La Mercerie, Levain, mine following Joshua's instructions, and Sweet Rehab. So the moral of today is, if they try to make me go to rehab, I'm gonna say no, no, no. Well, hopefully today you learned something about chocolate chip cookies, as well as gaining some insights into New York City bake shops. So when you come to visit, you can strategically shorten your lifespan for 5 minutes of dopamine rush. Sounds like a bargain to me. Alright, thank you.